My name is Adamas Richkauskas. I am 10 years old and I'm a first-degree black belt. I don't know when I started. I started maybe when I was 3, about to turn 4. When I won my first competition, I was, I think, junior blue belt, and I was so happy that I won first place. During that day, I was so happy I could barely talk.
Adam, I think, started around 3.5. He was a young one. And when he started, very apprehensive at first, very scared to come on the floor. And then it would be on contingencies of, if dad's here, I'll go to class, but not if mom's here. And then, dad would have to wait outside and mom would have to come inside and watch class, and that would be the way for him to participate. But then he wouldn't wear a uniform. So then we'd go through the process of, okay, can you wear the pants now? So he would wear the pants, but he wouldn't wear the belt or the shirt. So we would go through the steps, and it took a little while, but before you know it, we had Adam in a full uniform. So it was really interesting to, especially in the beginning, to see where he is now.
Adam is he's got a very big personality. He's very motivated, and for a young kid, he's got a lot of thick skin, which is very important in the martial arts, the competitive martial arts space.
To watch him practice and see his drive, he doesn't go through the motions. He pushes himself 110%. And I think it's really admirable. And he's become a really cool leader. I've seen him progress as, any young man coming up through the martial arts, they get a little egotistical or a big head. But, as they get to black belt, they really start to, you see them grow and they become that leader. And it's really cool to see that, in his personality, on top of everything he's got, he's become a cool leader.
He doesn't want to be told something just to please him. He doesn't want me to tell him that he's so great. He wants to know where he can improve, and he's the first one to point out that as well, where he can improve.
He has a great martial arts talent, but on this circuit there are a lot of kids with great talent. That doesn't necessarily make you a winner. He has a good form, a good system, but I think the most important thing is that he has a good motivating coach, which happens to be his dad.
His father's also got a very big personality. You can see why Adam's got that trait to him as well. Jonas is definitely instrumental in Adam's progress, pushing him a lot.
He's the type of person that all winners have to have around him, somebody that tells you the truth and then pushes you to get to where you need to be. And he's always with him, he's always pushed him, because it's easy for a kid to not win when he thought he could win and get depressed, and they don't want to show back up, or I don't want to do, I don't want to do this anymore, or something like that. I want to go do something else. Anytime you find a youngster like that continues to grow and get better and better, you look around and you find that there's a good parent or a good instructor, in this case it may be both, that believes in them and helps them to believe in themselves, and eventually they make it to the top.
He goes out of his way to do whatever it takes for his son to win, and he's very results oriented. He's got a goal, and whatever that goal is, he'll do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal.
This is going to be a difficult tournament, and like I said, I hope out of 9, 3 first places.
What divisions are you competing in?
Traditional weapons, traditional forms, sync forms, traditional challenge, creative forms, musical forms, extreme forms, and then extreme weapons, musical weapons, and then maybe creative weapons. So that's 10 divisions.
10 divisions.
And hopefully I'll win something.
Something.
He started doing tournaments, I want to say, we started getting him into the solid belt colors. So he went from like Elite Dragons to juniors. I want to say maybe a year or so into his training. We had a pretty big tournament team at the time, and we invited him out. It was at Nova Southeastern at the time, and he came out and saw it. And from that day forward, they've ran with the ball.
Let's go, guys!
When I first met Adamas, I was super impressed by his work ethic and by literally how many divisions he competes in. Most competitors only do a few and maybe more specialize in certain things, but he does it all.
So he competes in CMX, which is a musical and a very high acrobatic division. He also competes in traditional form, which is all of your traditional katas, which are the originals from the masters from before. He also competes in traditional weapons, which is the same thing as traditional forms, although now they have a weapon in their hand. His specialty is the chucks and the sword. He's very proficient. Yeah, it was very interesting to watch him. And him and his father, they would train. They would start by training 2 hours a day, then adding 3 hours a day. It's up to, I believe he's training up to 4 hours a day, 6-7 days a week.
So, in the morning, I'm gonna wake up at like 6, eat breakfast, finish by 7, and then, get down by 8, so I have like an hour to warm up. So I spend an hour warming up, going over everything, and then 9 o'clock everything starts, and then I finish at like 6 p.m. from 9 a.m. So then after that, I'm probably just gonna go eat dinner, hang out with my friends, and go to bed.
I've been competing for about 13 years now, so sometimes you compete and it feels differently. Sometimes you go to a tournament and you're really motivated and you're really pumped up to compete and you feel like you're unstoppable, and then other times you don't feel that way. Sometimes you get a little bit more nervous, or maybe you feel that you're not as prepared as you should be. So I think how you feel in the competition really comes down to your preparation. Sometimes you feel unstoppable, and then sometimes you feel stoppable. Sometimes you feel like, man, I've got a long way to go.
When you lose, sometimes it's actually better to lose than to win, because when you lose, you learn from your mistakes and you can improve for your next performance.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happens when you have years of competing. You find these patterns where if you do particular things, you go into the ring feeling a certain way, and then you know, sometimes you don't feel that way, depending on who your competitors are, depending on your own mental state, depending on how you feel. There's so many external and internal factors that can change how you feel walking into the ring.
Competition, it's kind of just, you know, go over your forms, make sure you're not like in between of anything, like say a flip or a release that you have in a form and you're not 100% on it and you want to like go over it. So do it a couple of times. If it's not working out for you, figure out a way to like do a last minute change and then see if it works for you. If it doesn't, and you make a mistake and you lose, then go back to the gym and fix it. Keep working on that trick and then make sure that it's ready for the next time. Yeah.
So a big part of the game is how can you be in control of how you feel walking into the ring? And as you become more mature in competition, you learn to actually have control over your emotions more, which is another benefit of martial arts and competing at a high level. You learn to actually be in control of your emotions in those high stakes situations. But when you are, I mean, it feels amazing. It's something that when you really have that experience of putting yourself out there, you can't help but have this feeling that, wow, everybody else is missing out. They never get this thrill. They never get this feeling of laying everything down in front of everybody and having a certain level of fearlessness and exposure to the unknown. And then when you do hit that form, it feels like amazing. You feel like unstoppable and invincible. So.